at round one. Who plays on Toby Green?
Yeah, well, there's a few players there, isn't there? Toby Green's a matchup. We'll go through that, obviously, together as a coaching group over the next few days, and we'll pick the team Thursday after our major training session. But there's a few matchups. Canigo's up and going. Kelly's playing well. You obviously got the All-Australian last year in Taylor, and their half-back line's got plenty of run in Whitfield, Ash and Cumming as well. So there's a very talented group we're coming up against.
Are you going to send someone to tag him? And if so, who do you reckon it would?
Which one?
Toby Green, sorry.
Well, hopefully anyone who plays forward is getting tagged. We've got to make their life difficult no matter who it is. Their forwards, they've all got talent up there in their forward line, like I said, through their midfield and back line as well. So, yeah, we'll go through that together. But, yeah, look, he's certainly a very good player that we have to keep an eye on.
Kingsley said Laird's going to be tagged as well. How do you kind of combat that?
Did he say he's going to be tagged or?
Yeah, they're going
definitely?
To yeah.
Probably? Definitely? Probably, yeah. Oh, he probably won't then either. So, yeah, look, he's been one of our better players, obviously the last few years, and probably longer than that, but certainly our best and fairest winner. And, yeah, he's an extremely good player, but we're starting to add depth around him now too, which is certainly helping him out.
Is that part of the evolution of Rory, I guess, becoming, dual club champion last 2 years in a row, that now he gets that attention? He should expect that more in 2023?
Well, it's not new. He's had that attention before. So, I mean, when you, like I said, he's won two. Certainly, he was under the eye of opposition clubs last year a fair bit as well, and certainly got paid attention at times. And he's been able to work through that. He's been incredibly consistent. So whether they do or they don't, that's fine with us. There's certainly players, which is pleasing to see, that they think are pretty important to the way that we play, and we certainly think that about them as well.
Do previous results matter against this team?
No, well, I think it's different, especially when they've got a new coach coming in. They've lost, obviously, Taranto and Hopper. So there's a little bit different mix to what they're going with. Like I said, the previous times we've played them, we've been reasonably average in those couple of games, but at the same time we've certainly picked up. We've certainly improved over the last 18 months to 2 years. It's a different team with us now when you look at our inclusions over the last 18 months. Certainly improvement from younger players. So in terms of does it make much difference really what happened 18 months ago, I'd say no, it's reasonably irrelevant in terms of the changing in their team and their coaching, the way they go about it, but also the individuals with us.
Do the players feel the same way?
I would have thought.
You proved that you can do it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for the players, but I would have thought. We're on a journey, as we have been for a little while, but we certainly believe we're on the right path, and there's steps we took towards the end of last year. You know, you win, was it 3 out of 4 at the end, and certainly have hit this pre-season up and running. So whether it's the Giants, whoever it is, or whether it's the Premiers in Geelong, we're not really too fussed. We just want to go out there and give a good account of ourselves, and look, the boys are up and running at the moment.
Do you think pre-season form matters?
To an extent. I mean, it probably matters more to a team that's in a position that we're at. In terms of teams like you've seen, Sydney traditionally, not so much this year, they're terrific obviously at Carlton, but traditionally they've been slower starters. Geelong have generally been slower starters, but by the end of the season, both those clubs have always been at the pointy end. I think it depends on probably the age of your squad and just the confidence that you can build from a good pre-season going into a couple of practice matches.
When do you expect Wayne to be back at the club?
Wayne should be back tomorrow, back here. I think he gets in today. He's been away for 10 days, but yeah, there's some private reasons that he was away, but that was planned a long time ago. Everything's good. The pleasing thing with Wayne is that we got the Fremantle game, so he's had 8 good quarters of footy. He hasn't been around for the last week or so, but he's certainly been clocking up numbers with the GPS-wise in terms of his running and training away from here. So, yeah, we think he's in a pretty good spot to hit round 1 up and going.
So not going yet, leaving the personal matter aside, from a football perspective, do you feel like he's going to be fit enough to be able to go to round 1, even though he hasn't been around the group for a little bit?
Oh, well, it wouldn't be. I mean, you go across the board. If you go the internal and the 2 practice matches that every club's had, he's played 8 quarters out of 12. So that's a great base. And to where he has been, to where he is now too, he's had a terrific pre-season, hasn't missed a beat. So this actually could be a blessing in disguise, just going away for a week and not getting knocked around, but just getting straight line running in for him. It may well be the best thing for him going into the 23 rounds.
Do you think mentally he'll be in the right place, Scott?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, he will be. Yep. No, he's in a really good spot. Wayne, yep.
Max Michael is looking really good. Is he a chance for a round 1 debut?
Yeah, we played that last practice game, so anyone who's around that 25 to 26 are around the mark. Look, there could be 1 or 2 that come away, that come from away from that 26. we'll certainly go through things, like I said, the next few days. We still want to train Thursday and have a look at a couple of things. Final selection, final decisions will be made post-training on Thursday.
How many spots, I guess, up for grabs? It seems like you're pretty settled based off the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've kept, like I said, we've probably played a 26 to 27 over those couple of practice games. So generally from that, yeah, you're pretty set regard to those numbers. To the 22, no, not yet.
Where's Sloaney in calculations?
Yeah, no, he's going really well. We're really pleased, especially his first hit out against Freo. That was a really pleasing return. The way he went about it there, the way he's used his voice and his leadership back out there has really held us in good stead, and he's made players better around him. So he's in a really good spot to get back out there round one and perform for us, because we've missed him. We are still a young group. We're trying to shy away from that comment a little bit this year, but we are. We are still young in terms of experience, and he adds so much to us in terms of those around him, the younger midfield and younger half forwards and half backs.
He was good in Perth, so physically, I think a couple of weeks ago, Burjo said he sort of ticked every box, or the club's confident in his physical preparation. What sort of boost does it give to the squad? And what if you just fast forward to the moment where it's revealed that to the group he's playing, what sort of boost does that give?
Well, it will, but I guess like we talked about, like he's played all the internals and he's played the practice matches for us, so it's not as if this is his first game back. If he comes in round one, he's been a part of us. We feel that over the pre-season he's just been there from day one with us and just trained with us, and we expect him to play. So it's great to have him out there. There's no doubt the boys certainly walk taller with someone like Sloaney out there, and you can't buy experience. And when you've got blokes like Sloaney or Tex, Brodie Smith, Lairdy, they certainly help those less experienced players out around them.
Is Jackson Haley, I guess, dealing with a little bit of an issue at the moment? He was kind of to the side today.
Yeah, he just had a little bit of a niggle, but been really pleased with Jacko over this pre-season. I think 2 years ago had pretty bad groins OP, and the way he's worked his way through that now, he's getting some real power back and explosiveness. He was excellent in the SNFL finals last year, and we've got a really good group of young midfielders that are knocking on the door right now to get the opportunity. So if there's one or two niggles, we've got players ready to step up.
Is that a groin niggle for Jacko?
No.
Are you able to say what it is?
Oh, I won't give. I think we've got the medical afterwards, so I'm not sure where they're at with that. But it's not, look, I would think he'd be nearly playing this week if he's not. So it's not much. It's just little stock standard pre-season soreness.
Yeah.
You've proven you can do it in the pre-season. How important is kind of kick-starting the year well against GWS, Richmond and then the showdown?
Yeah, there's 3 games. I thought you were only going to go with the one game, round one. So, yeah, it's interesting. They're all important. Look, every club wants to keep their head above water, I guess, in the first 4 or 5 rounds of the year. You've seen in the past where clubs get that good start, whether it's 3-2 or 4-1. It just gives them a little bit of, confidence going forward for the rest of the season. And sometimes you can play good footy and maybe be 1-4. It doesn't necessarily mean that's where you're at in terms of forget about ladder position, but when you talk about 18 teams, you're better than a 1-4 start, but it can put you behind the 8 ball. We know that, but look, they're all important games. But when you look at round 1 compared to round 23, what's more important? They're both worth 4 points.
You look pretty organised out west, and scoring from transition and turnovers, one you've added to your bow instead of relying heavily on stoppage. What do you think you've learned about the group, or what do you think the group's learned about themselves when you fast forward to now compared to sort of 12 months ago?
I think the group's shown us how coachable they are and how much they want to get better and learn. So, look, they drive a lot of the standards. They spend so much time doing extras, which you don't see. They'll be inside with their touch and their kicking and all those sorts of things. But when we have meetings, they're so engaged. They understand how we want to play. They understand how our opposition probably want to deny us a ball movement at times. But it's been really pleasing because, we've been a pretty solid stoppage team generally, and a contest team and tackling team is one thing that we have hang our hat on. But the next development and stage for us is to be able to use the ball when we get out into space. So how can we use that ball when we're in like uncontested possession type territory and really hurt the opposition, which in the past we haven't. So there's still a long way to go, but we're certainly making inroads in that path.
It feels like the younger group is ready. Fogarty said it's time to take responsibility away from Sloan. Even Brodie last week said it's time we started winning games.
Yep.
The expectation is that. Do you think the group's ready to live up to the expectations they're creating for themselves?
Well, I think they are. I don't see why they can't. I mean, you should go in every game believing you can win, and that's to the belief that we have. And I don't care where you finished the year before. If you've got your best players playing well, and you've got that injection of youth and talent, and a second-year player's now 3 years in, and he's had a few more pre-seasons, he's a bit stronger and bigger, then you certainly got to have a belief that everyone at their best can challenge anyone and match anyone. Now, we've done that in bits and pieces with victories over Geelong and Melbourne over the last couple of years, but we certainly haven't been consistent. So we want to maintain a standard, but we want to maintain that standard for 22 rounds. So, I've got confidence. The players have got confidence. At the same time, too, when you look at it, I think we'll go into this game with probably 3 or 4 blokes over 100 games, and there'll be a dozen blokes under 50. But you give us another 15 games, and that changes significantly. There'll be nearly 8 blokes 100, which is starting to look better, and there's probably only about 6 to 8 that are under 50. So, we're in that transition period at the moment that we're expecting to improve. Now, whether that's win-losses, we'll wait and see, but we know we're a better team than what we were 12 months ago.
So the expectations matter. Your expectations of yourselves would be different to what people would expect on the outside. Is it nice that the narrative now isn't where to for Adelaide? There's a bit more of a clear path. Yeah,
I mean, we might put higher expectations on ourselves internally as well than what others have. We think we're pretty realistic with where we're at. It's early in the year, anything can happen. There's going to be thunderbolts thrown us everywhere. There'll be injuries, there'll be suspension. There'll be things that will challenge us, but there may be opportunities as well. So we could lose if there's 3 or 4 blokes over 100 games and by round 3 they're not playing. That makes a bit of a difference, but we certainly believe that we've got some good depth underneath as well that's not just 18 years of age, but it's 21, 22 that can step in and play AFL football. So, like I said, we've got a real confidence in the way we play and the way we go about it, but there's a lot of confidence in the 23rd player to the 32nd player underneath, and there's probably another 8 players that are still developing, but there's a huge amount of confidence in the group that any player can step up and come into the team week by week and help us.